They were found still inside their cars, lifeless bodies, abandoned in the absolute silence of the countryside. Shattered glass, blood spread across the seats, precise shots that left no chance to react. And then, something worse. The women were mutilated with a cold, almost surgical care. Parts of their bodies removed as if they were trophies. No screams heard, no witnesses, only the distant sound of the Italian rural night, and a killer who returned again and again. Between 1968 and 1985, in the isolated hills of Tuscany in Florence, 8 couples were brutally murdered inside their own cars. Young lovers seeking privacy in remote areas, but they were being watched. The pattern was always the same. The killer approached in the dark, armed with a .22 caliber pistol. Fast, precise shots. First the man, then the woman. Clean execution. No struggle, no chance. But it didn't end there. In several cases, the killer remained at the scene after the initial shots. The female body was violated after death, with specific mutilations repeated over the years. This wasn't loss of control. It was method. It was repetition, as if each crime were part of something larger, something rehearsed. The shell casings found at the scenes, always from the same rare series, Winchester Series H, indicated it was the same perpetrator, the same ritual, the same mind. Italian police launched one of the longest and most disturbing investigations in the country's history. One name began to surface: Pietro Pacciani, a man with a violent past, unstable behavior, and connections to equally suspicious figures. The group that would become known as the Compagnie di Merende. Among them, Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lotti. Confessions emerged, but they were filled with contradictions. Giancarlo Lotti described crimes with details that matched real evidence, such as the weapon and the attack patterns, but also gave inconsistent accounts, changing his story and introducing elements that were never proven. He claimed the mutilations were carried out on request, supposedly for occult rituals involving female body parts, but no concrete evidence of any organized ritual or human consumption was ever found. Pietro Pacciani was convicted based on a fragile set of testimonies and circumstantial evidence, only to be later acquitted due to lack of solid proof. Mario Vanni was ultimately convicted as an accomplice, though he always denied direct involvement. And there was one unsettling detail. After the arrests, the murders stopped. For some, that meant the killer had been caught. For others, it meant the real monster had simply chosen to stop. The pattern of the crimes suggested organization, control, and deep knowledge of the area. Someone who knew exactly where to strike, when to strike, and how to disappear without leaving a trace. Someone who hunted couples as if they were predictable targets, isolated locations, similar time frames, a cycle that repeated for nearly 2 decades. And then, it stopped. No warning, no mistake, no capture. As if the killer had simply decided to end it, or perhaps was already dead. To this day, the case of the monster of Florence remains officially unsolved. No confirmed identity, no definitive answers, only files, photographs, and the certainty that for 17 years, someone turned the silence of the Italian hills into a hunting ground and was never stopped.